Because one of the concepts you've come up with, you've christened the region the Interland. Do you want to
Yes.
talk about that as a,
Well,
as a geographical?
I started in
idea?
Narration Marina when I was working with them last year, and they said, "What's your new book called?" And my initial title, which I sort of slightly cringe at now, having met people in the region and really explored it, was Islamagad. And my thought was, well, it's not Islamabad. And Marina burst out laughing. She said, "That's so you." Unfortunately, it was so me, but it wasn't. As soon as I got talking to people who were brilliant, cultured, rounded designers, it would be like describing Walmart as Christian retail or Spielberg's Jewish cinema. It was just wrong to stereotype people around one dimension, even if it is important in their life. But there were Arab Christians and secular people and all sort of mix that you'd expect in the creative industries in any country. So I sort of dropped that, even though it had a lot of sort of frisson and energy here as a sort of starting point. And the Interland became my way of not constantly saying Islamic, but actually to be about this space that appreciates being in between. And it's not the only place I've met this view.
It's not just the Middle East, is it?
No.
Is it Indonesia is part of it.
Indonesia and Malaysia. I went for basically the Muslim majority countries, of which there are 57. They're fabulously diverse. If it wasn't for the West, they just all fall out with each other, but they have some sort of camaraderie of a shared crisis or something, people said to me. But they have this sort of common thing. So in Malaysia, they say, well, Malaysia is like a salad. You know, they refer to a local salad, and they say, you know, you couldn't take the Indian and the Malaysian out and still have the salad. We're all mixed in together, and that's what we are. And they have say exactly the same in Lebanon. They say, you know, Lebanon is like a tabbouleh. It's sort of, you know, you can't. It's too finely mixed to pick it apart. And we're into marriage. We're into everything. And so this idea of an interland seemed a good holding place to talk about the culture that these things were growing from, and they're really diverse. I spoke to really aggressive engineering, rational, very successful .com entrepreneurs, really sensitive, critical, fine artists. You know, lots of people in between. So there wasn't one type of culture, but a lot of them were working in this interland space. And one marker for this was, I'd say, more than half the people I spoke to in the book had been educated, born, or worked, or and somehow had some major immersion in the West, and brought that back, and then started weaving their own version of this into their work.